right, hello everybody, and welcome to Comics News Today. My name is Chester C. Busby III, and of course, I am joined by my panel today. And we have a lot of news to get to, so I'm going to get right through our announcements and get to that very quickly. Of course, we have all our links down below, so please check those out. You can get a hold of our Fanspeak on Facebook, and you can contact me as well if you want to get on the show here, which we do encourage you to do. This is a Fanspeak show, so of course, we want the fans to speak out, which is the point. But we do have a lot of news, so let me come over here to our panel and say hello. Well, I am seeing that we have Brad with us today, and he's doing a great Akuma piece. How you doing, Brad? Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Hold on a second here. I'm having a little bit of mic difficulty. Let me switch this over real quick. And as I do that, guys, just uh, no, that's okay. But it looks really good, though, actually. But let me go ahead and to get this back to where it should be, and you should be good now. Go ahead and say hi.
Hey everybody,
There
how's
we
it
go.
going?
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, you've been working this for this quite a bit, huh?
About an hour or so. Yeah, hour and a half.
Yeah. Akuma. Now, this
Yeah,
is a Street Fighter character, and
correct.
do you play Street Fighter or you just draw it?
I played it before. I grew up on it. So, my first commissions when got started doing stuff for people was Mega Man and different video game characters and stuff. So,
Oh, I see.
yeah,
I see. Yeah, I was just
yeah.
explaining to you that Akuma means great bear in Japanese, and
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, it is kind of interesting. It's kind of sticks with my nickname here in Japan, which is Onikuma, which means devil bear.
Devil Bear.
Yeah,
Okay.
Ooh, that's itchy.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Did you happen to see my Twitter today?
no, I have not checked any of that, dude. I have been since 6 a.m. this morning buried in Word and typing away and finishing up
I
some of
got
my
I got a
screen scripts.
reply today from someone large and in charge.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Well, tell us about
Mr.
that.
C.B. Sobolski himself.
Wow,
Yeah. So, because I
That's
asked
suddenly
him,
large.
he's really large, but he's in charge too. So,
he is.
yeah. So, as I said, I wanted to put together a group on my show where we talk about the industry, distribution, things like that. I reached out to CB, Marvel, DC, Jim Lee, and stuff, and CB got back to me. He put me in the direction of someone that we should talk to, maybe get him on the show.
Sweet.
I'm hoping DC will do the same. So we'll find out.
Well, that's very
So
cool, dude. And I have to say, when I was
mhm,
at the Comic Con, I saw him many times. I shook his hand, said hello to him. The dude
mhm,
was very involved. He was everywhere, very polite, very professional. I know we all
yeah,
have had these big hopes for CB when he came in, but from what I've seen in person, the dude is quite professional, actually. So that's good to hear,
yeah.
man.
So
Okay. Well, thank you very much for coming on with us today, Brad. And of course, we also have our absolute pie expert from down under in New Zealand. We have Booster. How you doing, man?
It's me, I'm Booster. I'm doing fantastic.
Yes, that kiwi still freaks me out, dude.
Well, it's adorable. How dare you?
It's
This is
it,
an adorable little kiwi.
is it adorable? It
I
seems
think
like
it's gorgeous. What are you on about?
it seems like it has alien tentacles coming out from places.
How dare you? How dare you accuse my kiwi of doing such things?
That's true. Okay, the Kiwi Booster is here, of course. Thank you very much.
Mm.
And as always, my co-host Denali. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm ready to hit the news. We have a ton of news today.
We do.
And also, but we also have to remind people for tomorrow, we're going to be reading West Coast Avenger issue 1 from 1985,
Hmm.
as well as the West Coast Avenger issue 1 from 2018 to compare and contrast.
Hmm.
So that's going to be on tomorrow's show for Bugsbear Basement.
And it's going to be painful. But hey, we this is what we do for you. This is how we sacrifice for you. But no, joking aside, I think it'll be interesting to look at it because I actually was a big fan of the original West Coast Avengers, and I read a lot of those. I don't know, I don't think I had the whole run, but I read a lot of them. So it'll be interesting to compare and contrast those two. So definitely join us for that tomorrow. And if you have the stomach to read both of those, please do, and come on in because yeah, well. we'll talk about that tomorrow, guys. But also keep in mind, as I'm about to jump over here to the news, that hitting that like button and subscribe, of course, is appreciated. We love all the support and the help that everyone gives us. Thank you very much for that. But the biggest thing you could do to help us is actually to hit that share button and let your friends and family know what we're doing over here so they can come join us. So thank you very much for that, guys. Um, and Booster seems to think that I'm just trying to oppress him. I would never oppress you, Booster. I love you, man.
You're always trying to oppress me, but it's okay, just so I forgive you.
That's okay. Well, we're going to get right into news here. Let me come over here and share with my panel, of course.
Yep.
And yeah, now we have a lot to get to, so we're going to try to keep up with this today. But the first little bit here, Denali, why don't you go ahead and introduce the folks to this wonderment?
Okay, so Tom King, excuse me, run of Batman has lost control, and because of that, he has become an official enemy of Gotham City. So now he's a true vigilante, and he's no longer having the support and alliance with Jim Gordon and Gotham Police.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to hunt him down again.
Is he just punching his way through my city? Well, he's always been punching his way through your city, James.
Yeah. And nothing's changed.
Oh, look at that. No more.
No more.
Yeah, what's changed is Batman punched him. He's like, okay, you crossed the line.
Yeah, but the real thing with this comes down to King, and we've been talking about this. We talk about Deodato, who is in charge. We talk about him bringing in Bendis to basically just shake things up to his agenda, because he doesn't believe superheroes should be married. He doesn't think they should be happy. He thinks everything should be teenage angst. This is his opinion, and of course he's wrong, because a lot of us obviously don't agree with what's going on. And King was obviously recruited into doing that, and I think it happened very, very much along the lines of when he was starting the Mr. Miracle run, because when Mr. Miracle started, it was phenomenal. It started really well. And then it went downhill, and it twisted in weird ways, and it ended horribly. So I think during the creation of that, something changed. And we see King is following along here with Batman. We've all been like, what are you doing? Because the biggest problem with this whole storyline that King has going on is the assumption that Batman would lose control. And of course, Batman never loses control, because he's Batman. It's like his superpower. Right?
See,
right.
The big problem I had with Mr. Miracle was the conclusion. You know, I think I would have forgiven a lot of the other nonsense if the conclusion was good. But what we had for the conclusion of Mr. Miracle was that Mr. Miracle, instead of choosing to escape, chose to wallow in his sadness in this what he knew to be a fake reality. You know? And with this Batman, the only the only way I can assume this will end is that Batman will reveal that he's been onto Bane's plan for 20 issues or something, right? And he's been 2 steps ahead of him. Mm-hmm. And at the very final moment when Bane is like, haha, I broke you, and Batman's like, no, you're wrong. I prepared for this a long time ago. But because I think Mr. King wants to be Rian Johnson levels of subverting expectations, Batman's probably going to just end up being as miserable as Mr. Miracle. So,
right.
Well, I guarantee it.
Or he's going to become a villain at this rate.
Well, but it just, this King guy doesn't understand Batman at all. But they're trying to change something, and we'll see. Who knows what it'll end up being? But I'm certainly not enjoying this run, and no one I've talked to is. Does Brad? Do you have any comments on what King is doing with Batman right now?
I don't like what he's doing with him, but we kind of have to wait and see what's going to happen for the end. So
yeah, fair enough.
I just don't trust King. He's going to fill it with his neurosis.
I don't trust him either, but he's paid to write a story. It's been already written. And we can't, they're not going to just change it overnight. So.
Well, they could.
They could if I complain enough.
If you complain enough, I don't think so. I mean, everybody would have to write once, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I'm not a big fan of King though. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
How
What
about you?
yourself?
What about what?
Well, you
How
talk
about you, DeWolf?
DeWolf, yeah.
Am I a fan of DeWolf?
What? Yes. Oh, first off,
DeWolf,
Yeah, Brad, are you a fan of DeWolf?
I am actually. He's a nice guy.
nice. Well, I gotta admit, I am kind of waking up from unconsciousness from all the things that have been going on, but that's a different story. This story here, I've got to ask first and foremost: is this artwork that we're seeing, Chester? Is that part of the artwork that is this current series?
Yeah, yes, and it's,
Yes.
it's 3D modeling, of course. Yes, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
But okay, it's I maybe the 3D modeling is okay, but the Batman's his suit. I don't understand this. It's got colored skin, and Batman has more suit than this.
Yeah, I mean,
Right?
he put a couple wrinkles in on
Yeah.
his right elbow over there, but there's not. a lot of wrinkles.
Wow. It's
Yeah.
just anyway, and that's just
Batman running
that
naked.
alone. That's just that alone. And what this tells me artistically is that I'm stripping Batman down, and we can go into all
Ooh.
kinds of things
The
there.
I like the interior pages better.
Yeah, so do
than
I.
like the
Oh, okay, yeah, it looks good. That's a lot better.
It's just as soon as Zach brought up the 3D models, I haven't gotten them out of my head. It's all I see now is the bloody 3D models from this. What is it, Michael Janin or Yanin?
I mean, if
Gross.
you're
Yeah.
getting paid that much to draw a cover, don't make it look like 3D models.
Yep. But there's a lot of nonsense going on with the Batman right now, and we'll just have to wait and see. But the problem is over in DC with their big titles, we know what's going on. So it will go on until they lose enough money that the suits come in and say, hey, knock it off, and they change the management around, because that's what needs to be done. But we'll see. We'll just have to see. But we could talk on that all day. Let's move on to something more positive and more fun, shall we? Let's go on over here and let's watch the Godzilla second trailer. Now, I saw the teaser
Hooray.
when I was in Tokyo, and I put it on my live stream. But here's the actual full second trailer, so we're going to watch it. All right, everybody? Here we go.
Let's.
Alrighty.
Do it.
Hello? Is anyone there?
So we're just talking a little bit because we're
Try to reach.
reacting to it.
Whoa.
So it's showing a lot of special effects.
I still know how I feel about the stream.
Is she looking at the Captain Marvel trailer?
Maybe.
must be. He's like, no, the true monster of it all.
Oh, Rodan.
Yeah, Rodan.
Oh,
Senators, we believe that these titans
Charles
are
Dance.
just the tip of the
Oh,
iceberg.
Ghidorah.
that was Tony Stark in the Senate.
oh.
So,
This is
Which
when
of
he's in
these
space,
titans
so
are
he's
here
not
to
there to go.
protect us?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
oh,
This
look at it, look at it, look at it.
yeah, it. Gamera.
Hey, go ahead, dude.
I was gonna say, it feels like a remake of your favorite one of
Monster Island.
Monster Island.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I think it is.
Yeah, that's probably what it's going to be. Yeah.
I think so.
Well, you have to have more than all those monsters to have him be the king of
Here to
monsters.
Mothra.
threaten us.
Yeah.
No, so let's see.
Oh, Ghidorah.
So you want to
Yeah.
make Godzilla our pet?
No.
Was that my girl, CH Pounder?
Yes, yes.
You sure he's gonna be okay?
Mm-hmm.
We must bond with Godzilla and have him under our protection.
It's a really unattractive female. I don't know.
They're everywhere. Battling for dominance.
Oh, Mothra. Oh, King Ghidorah.
This Godzilla is a little bit too bulky.
You gotta be kidding.
Yeah, baby. There you go.
Wow.
Does look pretty.
Nuclear winter, or winter, cooling down. Oh, attack.
And terror, destruction, action. It's the end of the world. It's apocalypse right here.
Dude, that looks beautiful, though.
Could be good. Could be cool.
Like, this is just from the thing.
Yeah.
All right. That was sexy. I liked it.
Yeah.
What did the chat think? What did you guys think about that? That was pretty good, man. This trailer is starting to shape up. This movie seems to be shaping up to be a full-on, true Godzilla fun fest. Not like the thing we watched Saturday. That was it was a masterpiece, but that was also a statement. I wouldn't say it's a political statement. It was more of a human statement. But this is the straight up fun Godzilla where he does jujitsu kicks and stuff like that. That looks awesome. What do you guys think?
It looks great. It looks like good fun.
It looks like when he said we are going to be Godzilla's pet, it reminded me of that video game Primal. I think Primal Rage.
Yeah.
With all with the animals and everything, and everybody's worshiping up those creatures. I remember little raptor. It's like every time you needed to heal health, you would eat one of the people.
Right. Sure. That's funny.
I hope we actually see them fighting this time instead of like news reports like the monsters. Mm-hmm. Ooh.
Well, we saw King Ghidorah, we saw Rodan, we saw Mothra. Of course, we saw Godzilla. Did we see anything else? We catch any of the other monsters?
I can't remember the one with the scorpion-looking one. Which one was that one?
Oh, I don't know offhand, but it looked like some kind of scorpion or insectoid legs that were coming up out of the ground, and there might have been. Yeah. You had mentioned Gamera. I wasn't sure if it was though, but I'll have to go watch it again. But yes, please. Godzilla's head is too small. Well, they've been doing him like that recently, but
right. That's exactly what I was saying. The head's too small, and there's not like a neck. I think
Yeah, he has too much of a thick neck. That's making his head small compared to
design-wise. I think he looks great.
I love this face. I like the way it looks. Actually, I'm cool with it. That looks fun.
Well, and then the Japanese calling this version Fat Godzilla.
Are they? I haven't heard them say that.
They were calling it the American design Fat Godzilla.
Were they?
He's just a thick boy.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you become 60 or 70. You put on a few pounds.
Well, the only thing I have seen, yes, Gamera is friend to all children, Nick. The only thing I have seen is with Japanese comment on this was that they're really anticipating it. That's all I've seen. The Japanese have been very positive about it, actually, and they're usually not. So that in itself is a statement, because they're usually not very happy when Americans take their products and make them American. The 97 one, they don't even want to talk to us after that, which I don't want to talk to me either. You know what I mean? So they actually, what I've heard is quite supportive. Now, if Denali's heard some, little comments here and there, well, that's fine, I guess. It looks really cool. I see a few of you are making some comments. Tank thinks it's the neck dude in cosplay. Well, I think that's all CG. Dave says fat, as in the PH fat. Vailnit is here. Hello, Vailnit. Of course, our favorite troll is here. Doom is here. Willie Reed, or Willie Mammoth, is here. We got Nick W. We got a lot of people up in here today, guys. Really appreciate you coming in. We have Kelly Amos. Hello. Thank you guys for coming and joining us. And just keep in mind, if you have any comments, go ahead and say that. We'll try our best to keep an eye out for those comments. Yeah. But Godzilla looks awesome, dude. But we have a lot of news. Let's move on. This one, yay, Denali.
Yep.
Yay.
So,
Okay.
for those who haven't been following along for Star Wars Resistance, well, back in our recent Supreme Court hearing, confirmation hearing with Kadanoff, a little-known Star Wars actor made a video kind of making fun of the accuser, Dr. Basically 4, about her voice on her Twitter, which, came out in the news. Now, this news is just following up that story and has been confirmed that she's the voice actor for Leia Organa has been recast, meaning they fired the one that they hired and are adding a new one because of her comment, which was not appropriate to the image that we want to cast here. And all that stuff.
Well, of course, that is interesting because we do all know now, after the absolute debacle of the Kavanaugh hearings and the embarrassment it brought to the country, I must say, I'm living over here in Japan and I felt embarrassed. And we know that this Dr. Christine Blasey Ford, that stuck-up snob, how much of a liar she is. She was proved it, as was all the other female accusers. It was absolutely disgusting what happened with the Brett Kavanaugh hearings, and those damn Democrats that were involved in that should feel ashamed of themselves. But of course, we know they're a bunch of sociopaths and they have no emotions anyway, so they're not going to feel the shame they should. But it was absolutely disgusting, and it's embarrassing to the country. And the fact that this nasty, lying woman get up there trying to affect this Kavanaugh, who's a well-respected guy, has a great career, and the fact that this woman mocked her and then she loses her job over it. Well, I hope Dr. Christine Blasey Ford loses her jobs too, because she deserves it far more than this other lady. But anyway, that's just my opinion.
We gotta say, we gotta first come out and say that Chester does have this ability to disguise his true feelings behind all of these words that he uses.
Thank you.
So, yes, it's just
good to know.
Yeah. If you're unsure how Chester actually feels at this point, just keep listening. Maybe you'll find out.
True. I can be cryptic.
Yes, that's very cryptic, Chester.
The cryptic bear.
Well, tell me I'm wrong.
I am not going to tell you.
You're wrong.
Tell you this. It is interesting how it relates to this Star Wars Resistance, which, by the way, I haven't been watching Star Wars. I am a huge 5'10" Star Wars fan, and I just have had such the problem back to watching anything Star Wars.
Yep. Well, first of all, nobody's watching Star Wars Resistance, and second of all, I would like to compliment you on being 10 inches taller than Booster. Good for you, man.
Yeah, the Resistance. I tried to get into it after they announced it. It was out because I did like the Republic. I did like all the other cartoons, the Clone Wars, and everything. But this one, something about it. The design of the characters.
You got something special.
Everything just kind of threw me off on the show. So I'm not even watching. I hate the cell shading they do, with the CG. It's just doesn't look right.
A lot of people are hating on it, particularly artists. I actually don't mind the look of it so much. That's not the problem. I actually watched an episode or maybe even two of this, and it's just not cool. It's not interesting. I don't know who they're trying to sell it to. Who is it for? Is the problem. But I get you. A lot of people are complaining about the cell shading. I get it. It didn't bug me so much.
After Star Wars Rebels, we get this.
Yeah, Rebels was much better with CG the way it was.
Yeah. Well, the problem with the cell shading is there's no character. You can actually swap a lot of these characters. Poe Dameron looked like the main guy if it wasn't for Oscar Isaac actually voicing the character.
Right.
And this all screams like low budget TV show with a cell shading.
Yeah, it feels like a made for Netflix series. Straight to Netflix, not on DVD. Low quality.
Yeah. No, I get it, dude.
This
I get it.
Great.
The way they run, the movements are unnatural.
The technology looks really good. The people look awful.
Okay, okay, I'll take that. But the main thing is no one's really watching it, and this has been panned by everybody. I haven't heard anyone say anything positive about it, so it's just not doing very well. But the of course the point of this article, which we're talking about, I just played a little bit there so we could see it. But the point of this article is the fact that the lady who had been hired and had done the voice for Leia has been fired and replaced because she said something mocking to this nasty female, Christine Blasey Ford, and it's just disgusting. Oh, okay, I'm moving on because I'll rant again. I'm moving on. Here we go.
Please, please.
Go ahead.
Brian Michael Bendis. Yeah, Brian Michael Bendis has been given the Young Justice title. Because he's bended and everything that he touches becomes great.
He can bend us, but he cannot break us.
Well, this is interesting. I'm sure Pope Fire is real happy about this news.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to Young Justice for sure. I absolutely love that show. But
well, this is talk about the comic book, not the animated.
Yeah,
exactly.
This is talking about the comic book they're reviving the titles since the last run, which was, I think, Peter David back in the late 90s. So they're reviving this old title, and Bendis is helming it. So, and it's going to be updated for modern sensibility.
What?
So you know what that's going to be.
Since when did they put a mask on Nightwing? When did that happen?
I think he needed it to like breathe or something. I don't know.
Okay. Well, this is a clip of the actual new animation that's coming out through DC's streaming service. But we're talking about the comic book itself. But it's just an announcement. It's not that it doesn't really tell us anything. Although I want to know from the people here, who did this piece of art?
Someone who was saying, how do you do, fellow kids? We do memes as well. You like memes, right, kids? I got some dank memes right here in my trench coat.
I mean, could they have possibly drawn Superboy more effeminate than this?
Well,
I kind of like the character, the way he looks.
I hate this, dude. Now I understand that he's looking back at the girl, she's looking at him. There's a sexy connection. I get it. The boyfriend's upset. Well, I get it.
Yeah.
So they're not. But he's so effeminate. I don't like it, dude.
It's the meme. It's that one meme where the guy's checking out the other girl with his girlfriend next to him.
Yeah. But the artwork, though, reminds me of, it's kind of like what the 90s was doing, because the 90s one had a very similar feel and tone to the character, right? I like the design of this one. It looks punky, I don't have a problem with it at all.
That's not the word I would use, Brad.
Whatever. It's fine. It's your show. Just my opinion.
Is anyone else? This has nothing to do with what we're talking about, by the way. This is artist Patrick Gleason, I guess. Is this piece maybe? I don't know. I don't care for it, but it doesn't matter. We'll have to see what he does with it.
Moving on, another title being destroyed.
Okay. Now,
here's something about the artwork you were talking about, the effeminatism. I have heard some women talk about going to go see Aquaman.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to see Aquaman because he does not look like that Superboy.
Yep. Well, Jason Momoa is a sexy beast. I mean, come on.
He is a sexy man, and I wouldn't be surprised if he gets like sexiest man alive after that movie.
Well, I mean, he is a virile thing that women like to dream about. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that movie's definitely going to be a woman's flick.
Yeah, I hope it's a great movie. They need a good one.
Flick.
Now, this news right here, I will take the lead on this one, Denali.
Sure.
Netflix's Saint Seiya producer, Eugene Sun, explains why he gender swapped popular character, the main character here. Now, here's something I'm going to say right off for this. They love gender swapping and race swapping things left and right. these days, and it's really nonsense. If you want to have a specific type of character that you have envisioned, well, make a new one. All right, and we've been saying that for a long time, but I'm telling you right, this is going to piss the Japanese off to no end. Saint Seiya is a very revered series. It's a very old manga. The anime is old too. It's a long time ago. But this is very revered here in Japan, and in the West. To be honest with you, the people who know about it, especially when it first came out, is much lower. It wasn't super popular in the West. We were at this time, we had things more like the Robotech and the Star Blazers and other things like that that were brought over to America. They're far more popular than Saint Seiya. But the Japanese love this thing, and you're going to take the main character and turn it into a female. They're not going to like that, and the women aren't going to like that, because actually Saint Seiya is very popular with women, with girls when it came out, actually. But let's go see why. Why should we change Saint Seiya from a man into a woman? Well, I don't know. Eugene Sun has something to say about this, and of course he's looks like a Korean to me, so maybe he's trying to take revenge on the Japanese for some reason. Let's see here. For those of you who don't get that comment, the Japanese, and the Koreans hate each other. But anyway, moving on. Why are some of the characters' names changed? That was done before I joined on. Okay, cool. Next one. The big question: why change Andromeda? This one is all on me, he says. Okay, well, here's you're taking responsibility. See what you're taking responsibility and why. And when we started developing this new updated series, we wanted to change very little. Okay, the core concepts of Saint Seiya that make it beloved are so strong. Most of it holds up well, even 30 years later. The only thing that concerned me, the Bronze Knights with Pegasus, Seiyu, are all dudes. Now this series has always had fantastic, strong, dynamic female characters, and it reflects in the tremendous number of women who are passionate about the Seiya manga and anime. Okay, so why are you changing it? The women love it exactly what it was, just like I said before I even read your damn tweet, right? But 30 years ago, a group of guys battling to save the world with no girls around was no big deal. That was the default then, was it? Really, Gatchaman came out. There was 2 females on that crew. Yamato was out. There was a ton of women in there, flying ships, and they were actually wing leaders. What are you talking about, you moron? You have no clue at all what you're talking about. The Japanese shows are full of female leads. Seiya was
When
a
did
special
Sailor
thing.
Moon come out?
Yeah, well, around this time, a little bit after, I'd say.
Because that was an old
Yeah.
woman team.
Yeah, all female. This guy is a moron. He has no clue what he's saying. He doesn't know what he's talking about. That is not the default. It was far from the default, particularly in Japan, right? Today the world has changed. Guys and girls working side by side is default. Yes, okay, it always has been, Eugene. We're used to seeing it. Right or wrong, the audience could interpret an all-male team as us trying to make a statement about something. Was it? Really?
His name is
Well,
Eugene.
and before you
Someone-
move on,
Oh, you gotta have a name like Eugene. Someone take away his Korean card. You're white now. You're one white as hell dude if your name is Eugene. Ugh.
yeah.
Man.
And just to talk about it, this seems like the same thing as one of our writer, which is John Kasnet, did when he was defending making Lando I can't even say it without crying. Lando into a pansexual.
Mhm.
And he said diverse, capitalize, because it's all inclusive, capitalize. And here you go again, because we're used to seeing it, trying to make a statement about something. So
True.
You ever see that meme? That one that's like manga, anime, Netflix adaptation, right?
mhm.
Yeah, and then at the very last one, it's got like a black guy as the main character or something, or someone that just looks like trash dressed up as the main character. Yeah, this kind of crap is giving that meme so much more credence.
Hmm. Well, continuing, Eugene says, today the world has changed. Guys and girls working side by side is default. We used to seeing it. Right or wrong, the audience can interpret an all-male team as trying to make a statement about something, which I already said. And then they come down here and they show Ronda Rousey. Now, here's the thing. when Ronda Rousey came out and she was successful at what she did, and then finally she got her butt absolutely obliterated. And the reason why she got beat is because Ronda Rousey is actually not a very good fighter. Right? The reason she had so much success is because the MMA female stuff was rather new, and there hadn't been a lot of girls who had truly trained hard and gained skill to be into it, and they were just starting to come out. This is why she had success, because she could brawl. All she does is run at people and swing. And how many people that I see, like John Campy over at Collida, and a whole bunch of these people say, "Oh, she's so tough, she kicked my butt." No, she wouldn't, dude. You could take the most amateur, high school level fighter, and he would kick the shit. Excuse me, she would kick the hell out of her, right? He would kick the hell out of her. This is nonsense. They keep going about these amazing women fighters. No, dude. No, stop it. And Ronda Rousey in particular, I have no problem with her. She seems like a nice lady, but she's not a good fighter at all. And that's why she got laid out, because we're starting to see more and more of these girls come in and who have skill. They've worked really hard and they are now actually good fighters in there. And they keep wanting to use Ronda Rousey as an example. Oh, she's so off, she'd kick anybody's butt. No, she isn't. Remember that whole thing with her and Pernell Whitaker, was it? Or maybe it was one of the other guys saying they should have a fight together. And she even herself said, well, that's nonsense. I have no chance. I like her actually because she's a very grounded person. But I'm just saying they keep wanting to use Ronda Rousey for these examples, and it's dumb. It's dumb. But anyway, Eugene says, and maybe 30 years ago, seeing women punching and kicking each other wasn't a thing, but today, not the same. Well, once again, Eugene, you have no idea what you're talking about. Women have always been part of cinema. They have always been in cinema, whether it be animated or live action. They have always been main characters. Matter of fact, if we go back throughout the history of cinema and we count the number of females in movies and anime and the number of males in anime, I'm kind of wondering how close those numbers are going to be, because they're going to be either dead even or it's going to be maybe slightly over one way or the other. But the simple fact of the matter is women have always been in positions of authority and power and action in our movies since the beginning. I don't know what you're talking about. You're out of your damn mind, Eugene.
Chester. Chester.
Sorry.
Woo! My goodness. I gotta give you this. You are wound up tonight. You are just roaring out there at him.
Thank you.
Wow. Yep.
That's.
Well,
but you have good reason for that. You know, there's another great analogy I think that can happen when we start looking at all of these concepts between why there's so many men that are involved in being superheroes, being a team of superheroes. That men are doing certain things and then women are not, or not portrayed as not doing certain things. And I think you can almost see that just by looking around casually.
Mm-hmm.
Fanspeak has invited on anyone to come and speak. And we have one or two females that come and do so, and a lot of guys. Comicsgate has a whole lot of artists out there. There's a few women and a whole lot of guys. Guys are just out there doing stuff that you see. I don't know for whatever that reason is. Women are doing other things in other areas. It just happens to happen that way. And I think when you push things like Eugene is doing here against that norm, that just it happens. It's natural norm. Then it just doesn't seem like a normal, regular part of life.
Yeah, well, he's delusional. And if I ever saw Eugene, I'd go up and give him a big old kiss right on the lips, man. I'm telling you, this guy. But I mean, like Tank over here says, Cynthia Rothrock could beat Ronda Rousey. Yeah, Cynthia's friggin' amazing martial artist. You're right. And you know when she's from? The 80s. Oh, my. And also, Dave says, hey, when was Glow? Well, you know what? The Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling came on in the 80s. Same time as this Saint Seiya came out. So, and I listed off earlier a litany, an absolute litany of Japanese anime that were full of female fighters. So, Eugene needs a education correction, which he's probably suggesting for the rest of us as well.
We're just catching up all the rage. Sorry.
It's just so. It's a lie, dude. It's so this nonsense
have you
we hear
turned
every day, dude.
Your shirt off?
I'm sorry, it just ticks me
Wow.
off because they lie constantly, dude. This is nothing close to the truth. We've always had female characters. You want to talk about another great action hero from the 80s? Let's talk about Sigourney Weaver in Alien, huh? Or Aliens. Let's talk about
Absolutely.
Leia in Star Wars. We could go on and on and on. Someone mentioned Rothschild earlier. It's just ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous.
Well, Chester, here's the big problem. It's not a lie
It is a
because
lie.
they actually believe it. They're telling what they think is the truth that they know. That's the unfortunate part. I know that makes me shiver to my boots, man, but that's the real problem that's going on in the world
Yeah.
today.
Boom, boom, boom.
Okay, I'm not reading
Yeah.
any more
Sorry.
than that he says because
Yeah.
this is nonsense. It's going to make me, and he gets me really angry here. But okay, I'm moving on. Moving on.
Yeah.
Hi, next.
Oh, hi, Chris. Rhino returns
Why
to
is
ID
Lena Dunham becoming the president of IDW?
Wow, Booster.
Well, to be fair, he does look like Lena Dunham. He does. He does look like her.
Oh no, he looks like Ginger Band Squirrel Girl.
Oh,
Don't give them ideas. Oh wait, it wouldn't happen. They would complain about gender being a girl.
What is he doing with his mouth? Stop it!
okay.
No, that's not how a human mouth is supposed to wrist.
Denali, why don't you go ahead and actually introduce the article, please?
All right. Chris Reinald returns to IDW as president and publisher, taking over from Greg Goldstein. As everybody knows, Chris Reinald left IDW in March to be with Robert Kurtzman's Skybound Entertainment. So they must be in dire strait to grovel to get him back as the president and publisher over IDW, which is not surprising at all, based on what's been happening.
We've talked about IDW here several times, and one of the things that I've always suggested to you guys is go over and watch that Umbrella Guy or Tug's channel. He has done a great series of videos on IDW, breaking down their budgets, their analytics, etc., showing exactly how much of the dire straits they're actually in. This company is more than comic books, guys. They make board games, they do video games, they do animations. They got their fingers in a lot of stuff, and they are crumbling hard. This is just an example because, I don't know that this Chris Ryle or Lena Dunham's brother is going to do anything to help the situation because he was let go for a reason, right?
Because he looks like that.
No, that does say something. Yeah, when you bring back someone that you let go, you don't fire someone, let someone go, and then think, oh no, that was good. What you were doing before. That's very rare.
Wasn't he let go when he was making money though? I believe that's what he was. And then they thought, oh, we'll just go in a new direction, so we'll put a new guy in, and that failed miserably. So I'm thinking, like, bringing it back to try to turn around, because last time he was working, I believe they were making money, real money. So.
Oh well, yeah, I think that'd be good then.
Well, we'll see. This is just, it doesn't, there's not much to talk about. It's a very short article. It's just interesting because IDW, of course, has been pushing the progressive agenda hard, and they are a perfect example of get woke, go broke. And Valen, I see what you're saying over here, and you are absolutely correct. I completely forgot to talk about the Wonder Woman, which was Linda Carter, I think, and the TV series. And they think they did actually have a movie with her or two, like a made-for-TV movie. But yeah,
and
absolutely.
Supergirl with, and don't forget Supergirl.
Yep, that was in the 80s too.
Everyone's trying to forget Supergirl, I'm pretty sure.
But the point is the fact that there were 30 years ago, there were no female heroes. It was all
That was
men
like 40
all the
years ago
time.
now.
Yeah, no, that was a
Yeah.
long time ago. But I grew up with Wonder Woman as a kid, watching that and the Bionic Man and all those kind of things. But thank you, Valen. Very good
Bionic
point.
Woman.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bionic
I
Woman.
remember Mae West. So
Oh well, this is an aside that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. But Mae West, I'm actually related to her.
that's way aside. Wow.
It is.
Yes. So sorry to barge in again. I was reading more on Chris Ryle. So yeah, he was actually with IDW to begin with.
He was, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was.
Oh, maybe
He's
this is
one
a
of the
good thing.
founding
Yeah,
guys. Yeah. And so then during the time of transition to the new guy who was there now, he went with Skybound, helped them grow to the juggernaut they are today. And then now he's coming back to help them grow again. So,
well,
I think it's probably going to be good for IDW to bring him back.
Hopefully. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Nick W says he is staring into my soul. Yes, I know. I'm feeling the same way. It's kind of creepy. J Pot Studio says ISIS. Yeah, there's another one. Thank you, ISIS. That was another good series. I grew up with that as well. Yeah, it's just nonsense. It just really ticks me off because old Eugene is not the only one who says this. We hear these people say these things all the time, and it just doesn't make any sense. It's like they want to literally rewrite history. Unbelievable. Well, hey, let's get away from this guy before he murders us all, because it looks like it's what he wants to do. Here
Right.
you go, Denali. This is all you, dude.
All right, so CBS is selling their iconic television city property for $750 million to the Culver Studio, which is which is part of Amazon. So all the iconic studio lot properties where James Corden and some of the other night shows do their shows. It's now going to be owned by Amazon, more or less. But the real story behind this, because it doesn't tell you in the Hollywood Reporter why they're selling those iconic television city properties for that much money, it's because CBS is in the red because of poor investments. And what are those poor investments? CBS, STD, the All Access, and a lot of these programs that's been utterly failures that's causing them to fall in the red. So to shore up money because of all this wasteful spending that they couldn't get because they were hoping that Star Trek Discovery would be the main cash cow to fund all these failure projects, and ended up being more of a black hole for them. Has to sell their iconic television city properties.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really the real story behind this.
Sure, it is, and we know that's true. But all I have to really say to that, Denali, is baby got back. Look at that lady. Damn, man, that's a good one.
That is one booty.
That is that's a weaponized booty, I think.
That is oh, sit on me.
I do apologize, Denali. You were talking something about very serious, and all we were doing is looking at butts. I apologize, but this is connected, so continue.
Yeah, Picard will balance STD and Next Generation, says Kurtzman, who's the show producer for that. So just prepare to be less woke than STD, but more woke than Next Generation.
Oh no! Oh my goodness! That is a let me tell you about my feminist agenda face if I've ever seen one. Holy crap!
That is
terrifying. Man or a woman? I can't tell if that's supposed to be a man or my grandma.
Wow, dude. That's I mean, the dude can't really help the way he looks. I mean, he's dressed pretty normal and stuff, but damn.
Yes, he can very easily. Get rid of those grandma glasses.
You need to eat all your porridge.
Yeah, Kauai sauce.
Yeah.
Oh, it's brutal.
Well, anyway, but Sir Patrick Stewart. Yes, well, yeah, we've talked about we've been talking this for a while. We're not going to hang on this very long. The main point that Denali is making is talking about how CBS is in trouble. But the thing with Picard that's with Patrick Stewart that is really worrying me is I saw an interview with him a couple of months ago, and he was very clearly talking about how he's very excited to be coming back and doing stuff, doing Star Trek again, because he feels it is his mission to educate the white men, because white men need educating. This is what he said.
White men.
That's what he said, and he's serious, and that is a problem to me, because Star Trek should be fun. It should be about exploration, not about you preaching to a bunch of white men who are your damn audience, saying, what your opinion is more important than their opinion. Thank you, Sir Patrick Stewart. Goodness gracious. Anyway, moving on to something to end, might be happy or not. Toxic Avenger reboot film in works with Legendary. Now, I certainly watched the Toxic Avenger when I was younger. Danelli, you said you've watched it. Anybody else here seen Toxic Avenger?
Yeah.
Yeah, Toxic Avenger is one of my favorite synthwave artists.
That's not related. That's not related.
It sort of counts because he got that name from that movie.
Are you sure?
Yeah, he says so.
Cool. All right. Well, what do you guys think about a reboot of Toxic Avenger? I mean, if from my opinion, from any possible reboot of any project that's ever been done, this is like the least likely thing to actually reboot. I don't get it. I mean,
I don't get it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a fun little spoofy thing, but to reboot Toxic Avenger, why?
How don't you get it? It's the environmentalist global warming agenda, down with capitalism because the toxicity of capitalism is horrible story, just rebooted into an SJW dream.
Yeah. Okay.
All they have to add to that costume is a blue wig or mohawk.
Yeah, but you do realize that the original Toxic Avenger had nothing to do with any of that, right?
Do you think this will have anything to do with the original Toxic Avenger?
No, which is why I'm saying I don't see why it needs to be rebooted. I don't know.
Okay.
Might be good. Could be good. Blue-haired Toxic Avenger killing them.
I'm doing negative.
I know. But maybe Toxic Avenger would kill all those horrible white men's. But anyway, that is not much. Brad, you have any comment here on the reboot of Toxic Avenger?
My comment is, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah, it's how I felt when I was like, what again?
Yeah.
Oh man, they're gonna ruin
it's
it.
It's their money. They can do what they want with it. Yeah. The first one, I didn't really care for the first one either. It's just like a cult fun thing to have on in the background.
Maybe.
So.
You never know. Sometimes they come out with really cool stuff, but it just seems odd choice to me. But whatever. I'd rather watch what's his name who did the murdering hobo movie a couple of years ago, Rutger Hauer. Yeah, that was more. That was cool.
It does get some actors paid, so
That's true.
It helps them out.
All right.
The poor stunt guys. Yeah.
Well, let's end up today and let's take a look here at IndieCron. Now, of course, we talk about IndieCron all the time because IndieCron is something that's very useful to the community and comic book lovers in general. Now, Pixel's doing a lot of work with this.
We don't want Pixel to fire us.
No, of course not, because IndieCron is a sponsor. But beyond that, he's actually expanding this in a field of where it started, and I think that's a very cool thing. But let's come down here and see. We're not going to check on anything particularly. We're just going to see if there's anything new. So let's head. Well, actually, let me do it from up here because that's one of the cool things you can do.
Just to let you guys know, Gary Shipman is in fulfillment status. He's starting to fulfill his campaign. So for those who back Gary Shipman's sketchbook, you're going to have an awesome time. You're getting 3 sketchbooks, a Packens Land issue 1 and 2 with a new cover, and other things depending on what level of perk you go. So you should be getting those relatively quickly.
That's very cool. And of course, Gary turned that around so quickly. It was such a good, solid campaign. Good for Gary. Congratulations. But that is wonderful. Over here, we do see Vale Nita says Toxic Avenger will be a girl, probably. Derek Tyler says Hobo with a Shotgun. Yeah, that's the one, dude. Willie Reed says, "Stop with the remakes and just reunite John Lithgow with Harry from the Harry from the Hendersons already." He keeps saying that he really wants to see a return of Harry and the Hendersons. I'd much rather see Lithgow do a sequel to Buckaroo Banzai, to be honest with you. But okay, let's see here. These are the newer things here.
What's this newest one? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Guinevere and the Divinity Factory. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, click on that, would you?
Sure.
I see. Okay, I'm looking at it, and it is actually a comic. I just thought it was a music video.
Music video. It's a music video.
Yeah. Scroll down.
It's to celebrate the launch of a new comic book. So yeah, it's a video to celebrate it. So I don't know why we need money to create a music video. Here's the comic. I don't know anything about this. A weird name though, huh? Yeah, I don't know anything about this.
So wait, are we funding a comic or a music video? Should this be on Indiegogo?
It says it's a music video.
I mean, on IndieCron rather.
A comic. It's a music video with a comic book.
And they want you to pay $8 just to be an observer? What? It looks like you're funding both the music video and the comic.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Ooh, I don't know. It's weird.
No, you're funding the video, and which is promoting the comic.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me. Yeah, it's a video.
But all the perks have shipping next to them.
Yeah, but
then you have to also go back to comic if you want the comic.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and that's why it's probably sitting at $0.
This is very confusing. They really need to spruce up this Indiegogo page a bit.
Yeah.
But wait, but I have to have a question. If you hit the play button, is there a video? Is it a music video?
Let's see.
Because that
I'm
means
writer
there
and
is
creator
one.
Preston Poulter.
How are
the
you
one who
backing
brought you White
something
Lily,
that
the story of the two deadliest female fighter pilots in
it
history?
appears that it's already in existence?
Judging by the reaction I get from fans at the comic shows I do, my next story is going to be even bigger.
But that's a comic.
Okay.
Guinevere and the Divinity Factory. Our story opens
That
with
looks pretty
Guinevere,
cool.
who's an apprentice wizard entering a palatial
Guinevere
estate.
and the
There's a massive flapper party going on,
That's-
but she's not here for the party.
Why would
She's
I
here to
wanna
meet the patron,
pay for a
the
music
master
video?
of the house, Francis
Well, I just
Getz.
want to pay for the comic.
Imagine combining Harry Potter and The Great Gatsby, and you get an idea of the world.
I am so confused, and we're gonna have to talk to Pixel about this.
Yes, so
To
am I.
help bring this story to life, I commissioned Juliet Kita, whose likeness I used for the
So here you go.
together with her husband Nathan, in order to act out the two
And
lead
how much
roles
they want? They
in the
want
opening scene of
$1,000
Comic Book.
apparently to make this
Set
music
to the
video
music
happen.
of Big Bad Voodoo
Right,
Daddy
that's
and a
like
music
No,
video.
no,
apparently
he's,
a lot of it's
wonderful
already
perks
done,
for
I guess.
people who
no, he's saying he's making a music video. Is what he's saying. To promote
Alright.
the comic book. Yeah, I don't get that. That is weird. All
Does
right.
he have to pay off those people in it?
I don't know, dude. It's very bizarre. We're gonna have to get Pixel
It's
in
just
here and talk to us
$1,000.
about this. Yeah, he's not asking for a lot. That's true, but still, it's just odd.
All of the perks, if you look, it still has shipping next to it. So either they're shipping you a music video, or you're still getting a comic out of this.
Or you're shipping yourself to the music video.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's confusing. But we'll ask Pixel about that. Let's see what else we got. See, The Lost Prince has been around. Starship Delta, it's not new. Of course, I don't expect to see many new things right now because this is not the time to launch a campaign. December, January, stay away from it, folks. Yeah, no, I don't see anything new here that jumped up real successful real quick. Yep, nope, nothing really new. But like I said, I'm not expecting it. I don't know what that is. We're gonna have to talk to Pixel about that. See what the deal with that is.
They're working an angle though. That's marketing. More power to them.
I get it.
Try anything.
Maybe starring in the music video.
Maybe, I don't know. Well, I'll talk to Pixel about it. Of course, yeah, I agree. DeWolf, they can do whatever they want to do, for sure.
I mean, you could make a YouTube channel in which you talked about Star Wars to promote your comic book, but who would do that?
Yeah, no, who would do that, right? And Willie says, let's invite them on. Yeah, maybe we should. But I'm going to talk to
Sure.
Pixel first and see what, because I'm sure he knows exactly what's going on with it. But anyway, guys, you know, definitely go over and check out IndieCron and see all the books that are over there. There's still a bunch of them that are in progress, and there's of course a lot more that are still in demand. So you can get involved and support those as you'd like. We do appreciate you guys all coming over here today with us. Of course, we have a lot of fun talking about the news and just chattering amongst each other. I would apologize about my rant, but I shan't because Eugene is an idiot. So. But of course, Denali, myself, and Booster, you can find right here at FanSpeak all our channels all the time. All those links are just down below. But we do have Brad with us here. So, Brad, why don't you go ahead and tell the folks where they can find you?
You can find me at Pencil for Life, which is my Facebook page, my Twitter handle, my YouTube channel, my website. So I'm pretty easy to find. I'm the fat artist in the group. So, you know, you can find me just about anywhere. I do talk with Chester. We review comics during the week and go to previews and stuff like that for what's coming out on Sundays, the first 2 Sundays of the month. So, you know, hit me up if you want to promote your book as well. I don't mind having you on my Sunday shows, and I like to talk to people about art, stuff like that. So, you also find me usually on Drawn and Quartered Fan Edition. So, yeah.
Sweet. Well, thank you very much, Brad. And of course, you know, thank you guys as well. Yeah, as usual, we're going to go ahead and let Denali take us out.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us. Remember, we have Bugs Bear Basement tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be talking about the West Coast Avenger issue 1 from 1985, as well as the 2008 issue 1 of West Coast Avenger. So check us out, us trying to become amateur voice actors and compare and contrast the 2 issues to see how much 30 years plus difference has been made in one single title. But as always, your perception shapes your reality, so always make it a good one.
Namaste.
Namaste.
All right, guys. Later.
Later.